Hey everybody, it's Andrea, and I'm a naturalist and educator at Severson's Nature Center. I'm here to show you how to use iNaturalist today. iNaturalist is a free, fun, and easy-to-use website and app where you simply take photos of wildlife and upload them in the form of a post or observation. iNaturalist is so easy to use that I bet by the end of this tutorial you'll feel confident and capable of uploading those posts, and you can get started right away. This is so important because it allows scientists around the world to access biodiversity information that they wouldn't have been able to collect otherwise. So by you taking a picture of a robin in your yard or something like that, you're contributing to valuable scientific research and our understanding of biodiversity around the world. Thank you so much for watching this, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment them below. Alright, so we are on the iNaturalist website, and you can see some wonderful posts scrolling through right here. But it's time to get started. So you probably don't have an account, and you'll want to go to the sign up button on the top right, and it's a super quick process to start an account. You'll just need to put down your email, create a username, make a password, confirm you're not a robot. I highly recommend you check this box. This allows scientists to access your data, and you can choose how much personal information you want iNaturalist to have on you too. And this is not a website that's going to steal your identity. It's very safe and it's very altruistic, so I wouldn't have too much concern about that, but you can always learn more when you create your account. But I already have an account, so I'm going to log in. Great. So this is my dashboard, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about it later, but you can go over to this button, which is your profile. If you want to edit and update your profile, you're welcome to. So when I do that, you can edit your information, you can tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you like to do, maybe your favorite wildlife species. You can set a couple other things. You can upload a profile picture, etc. So anyhow, you can update your profile settings here, and that's what people are going to see about you. Now, the main purpose of iNaturalist is to upload observations, and let me show you what those are. Let's actually go to Explore. So someone posted an observation from Botswana. Let's check this out. This can be our example. So an observation usually includes a photo or an audio file as evidence, an identification of some sort. So this person says it's a crimson-breasted gonolek. How cool is that? An observation will have when it was taken and the location of where it was taken, and you can see it here on this map. Now, there's different levels of observations. So if someone just posted an observation, it would need an ID, even if that person identified it. There's a community reference feature, so other iNaturalist users can confirm whatever you think you observed and identified. So let's say you took a picture of a crimson-breasted gonolek, and it was indeed a crimson-breasted gonolek. Well, someone would come by and confirm. So Robert Archer here confirmed this identification. That means it's research grade. But maybe this user took a picture of this bird and said it was a rhino. Well, someone would come along and say, you know what, that's not a rhino, and disagree. And it would be bumped down to a needs ID or a casual status. This is really important because it helps scientists filter out bogus posts from valuable posts. So usually if 2 or 3 users in a community have agreed on an identification, it's going to be valuable for scientists and a pretty accurate identification. But if there hasn't been any confirmations yet, scientists can filter that out and disregard those posts until they're bumped up to research grade. Hopefully that makes sense. Alright, so I was on the Explore tab. That's where I found the observation, and I want to show you this. This is so neat. So this allows you to look at all 33 million observations that have been taken and posted on iNaturalist. You can zoom in on the map, and it's a little slow right now because there's just so many data points, and look at specific areas. You can check out these posts in a list format if it's a little overwhelming. And you can also filter posts. So let's say you wanted to look at bergamot species across the world. Great. Now I'm just looking at wild bergamot species and observations. So I can check out other people's bergamot posts. I could go in and confirm an identification, like let's check this one out. Sally Hertz took a photo. She thinks it's wild bergamot. That looks like wild bergamot to me. So I can agree with her. It's loading. It says Severson Dells agreed. They suggested the same identification. This post is research grade. So if you're an expert in a group of animals or plants, you could type that in and you could become a pretty dominant identifier, and that'll help bump these posts up to research grade and make them a little more useful. You can also search by location. So let's check out Winnebago County. And this will show me all of the posts that have been made in Winnebago County. Oh, this is cool. This is an example of an audio file that the King of Frogs posted. He's really on top of reptiles and amphibians. So he said that was a coarse frog, and you know what? I agree with that. So anyhow, there's a lot of exploring you can do in this Explore tab up on the top. There's so many different things you can do, you can look for, you can explore, as the name suggests, and you can filter your searches down even more. But now that you kind of have an idea of what an observation is, how you can find other people's observations, and how you can identify them, let me show you how to upload some observations of your own. So I'm going to go up to this top here, click upload. Alright, now I need to upload some evidence, whether it's audio or visual. I'm going to pull up a photo of skunk cabbage I found at Severson a while back. Now sometimes information automatically comes in with the picture, but in this case when I transferred it from my phone to my computer, it didn't come with it. That's okay, that'll give us a chance to walk through this. So under species name, I could just type skunk cabbage because I already know what it is, but there's a really cool thing called computer vision that will automatically try to identify what you're looking at. And sure enough, it suggested skunk cabbages, and specifically the eastern skunk cabbage, which I know it is. Well, let's view it just to double check. And this is helpful no matter how confident you are with your identification, to just double check it. It's loading a little slow, but that's all right. Great, so here I could scroll through some photos of skunk cabbage and see if it matches. I can look at the seasonality of when it comes out, and it looks like in April to March there's lots of posts, so that makes sense. I can also look at a map and see where it's found, and it seems to match the range that I'm looking at pretty well. So I can feel confident that this is skunk cabbage, so I can close this extra window and I can confirm that I like it. Great. If I didn't like it, I could remove that identification by clicking that X and trying again, but I do like it. I found it last Monday, so I'm just going to click that on the calendar. If I wanted to change the time, I can hit this time button, and I found it around 1 p.m. Although it's not super important to have the time. Location. I can zoom in on the map and do my location selection that way, or I can type in where I found it up here. You can do an address or a name of a place. Great. Now I know a little bit more specifically where I found it besides the whole entirety of Severson Dells. So I'm going to click this outer point, drag my circle a little smaller. And I'm going to click this middle point to drag it down to the Dells, which is where I found the skunk cabbage. And this geoprivacy option is really important to take a look at. If you observed a rare or endangered species, you might want to make the location entirely private so nobody can find where you took that. Or you can obscure it. And obscuring it means that to a certain extent there's going to be a buffer zone around where you found it. And you can specify how big you want that buffer zone to be, but it helps protect that location a little bit more. And you can choose certain people to trust with the specific coordinates, and they would be able to have access to that location. But skunk cabbage isn't too rare, so I'm going to keep the geoprivacy open and select that. Now if I wanted to make a description, I could certainly do that. You could describe the physical appearance of what you saw, if there's any animals nearby it, things like that. I can say it was found along or near many other individuals. It's hard to talk and type at the same time. Of the same species. Cool. That's all you need to do to upload a post. Now, if you had multiple photos, they would all pop up here. You could drag and drop some to combine into one observation if you took multiple photos of multiple angles of a certain observation or thing you were looking at. It's also important to keep in mind that scale is pretty helpful. So if you happen to have something like a ruler or car keys or chapstick, a standard sized item, you could put that in the frame of your photo to help provide some scale to help identifiers. Great, so I'm just gonna upload it. So it's gonna send me to my observations where I can see this post. I can click on it to see some more. Now, if I came back later and I wanted to change something about this post, I could hit this edit button, go back in, I can change everything I did before. I can even delete this post, but for now I'm pretty happy with it, so I'm going to save the observation. Great. This is a nifty map of where skunk cabbage has been found in the area, which is pretty fun. And if you look here, it says that this post or this observation has been added to a project. Projects are ways for us to curate posts, and that project is Forest Preserves of Winnebago County. This happened automatically. I didn't have to do anything. Let's check that out. This is a really cool project I made, and it's a way for me to curate posts made in Forest Preserves of Winnebago County. So if you post anything in a Forest Preserve of Winnebago County, it will get automatically added to this project. And it doesn't mean it's taking it out of your observations, it just means that it's being copied and stored in this project. But this is really helpful because it allows me to see posts that everyone is making in Forest Preserves, and it basically like quadruples the amount of information we can get as a natural resources team. So here you can see the skunk cabbage photos I just posted, some other photos that I have posted. Rob Miller found some American sycamore and some Canada goose. I just think it's so cool to see what others are finding. But it's also helpful for us to track where certain species are being found, some seasonal trends, things like that. And as we get more information and as we do this for more time, it's going to become even more valuable. But like I just zoomed in on the map on Pecatonica Wetlands Forest Preserve. I can check out some observations made by people there. It's so cool and very, very powerful. So I hope this gave you a good idea of how to start on iNaturalist. I hope you feel pretty confident about making an account, editing your profile as need be. I hope you understand what an observation is and how you can use this Explore feature to search other observations and help identify them. And I hope you understand how important it is to identify other people's posts. I hope you feel confident about uploading photos and that you know about our Forest Preserves of Winnebago County project. And if you ever want to look at your observations, you can click on this tab and check them out. It's cool because you can look at it in a map function. like this, or a list function like this, or a grid like this, whatever you're most comfortable with. And I can even filter my own observations here. Like if I only wanted to look at birds that I found, I could do that filter. Well, great. Thank you so much for joining me.